more importantly, your rounds. You need to do cardio.
Very important.
Yeah. One of the causes of erectile dysfunction is vascular dysfunction. So the reason you have an erection is because blood is rushing down there. So if blood cannot get down there, you will not get an erection.
I think there's going to be a lot of guys running to the gym.
Yeah.
Doing cardio.
So how important is cardio? How important are your strokes? Yeah.
Before we get started, I'd like to take the time to thank you for being part of the Rethink Mindfulness family. You being a subscriber here not only means that you are part of the family, but it means that you find value in the things that we share here. And my aim in this podcast is to try and add value into your life and help you walk away with something that you can apply in all areas of your life. So stick around and stay tuned, and I hope to have you here for many more episodes. Let's get into it. Welcome to Rethink Mindfulness, where we talk everything fitness, health, and mental wellness. We have a doctor today that's going to explain everything about health that you need to know. So hopefully you can walk away with something in this episode, because it's going to be a very in-depth episode about health. So stick around. Doc, how you doing?
I'm good, Shimi. How are you doing?
I'm well.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure.
Yeah. I hope I can provide you and your listeners with as much value as I can in this short term that you have me.
I know you will. With the conversations we've had, I know you will.
Yeah.
So, Doc, I'd like to start off with, games before the end of before the episode starts, just to break the ice. Okay. So we're going to play a game.
Yeah.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Tea.
Yeah.
You don't like coffee at all?
Tea. Rooibos. Yeah, I'm not a coffee fan.
Rooibos tea.
Rooibos tea.
Okay. Did you put milk on it?
No milk.
No sugar.
Sugar.
Yeah. Okay.
Old school.
Yeah. I got you. Body weight exercises or lifting weights?
Lifting weights. 100% lifting weights.
I got you. Do you do any body weights? Push-ups? Pull-ups?
I do push-ups, yeah.
Yeah.
Do push-ups when I'm nervous.
When you're nervous?
Yeah.
Explain.
Like when I'm doing an interview.
Before the interview?
Before the interview. I actually do push-ups before an operation as well.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
And that works?
It works.
I've always heard that, doctors have very unique rituals before they perform their duties because it helps them.
Jimmy, you're making it sound ominous now when you call it a ritual. I don't know. Man. No, it's just push-ups, man. I mean, like, she's in pair, No, man. Just push-ups and then some prayer afterwards.
I got you.
Because prayer centers you. Okay. And then push-ups, they keep you in that state of, ready.
No rituals, okay.
No rituals.
That's clear. The myth is cleared. You heard it here first, folks. Okay.
Yeah.
Board games or video games?
Video games.
Video games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you playing at the moment?
At the moment, Call of Duty. I'm still on Call of Duty Vanguard.
I've always wanted to play that. I think I should invest in a PlayStation. Where are you playing? Xbox or PlayStation?
PlayStation.
I should invest in a PlayStation.
I think that's another question you need to add there. Xbox or PlayStation?
Okay.
Yeah, definitely PlayStation.
Comment down below. Xbox or PlayStation? Okay. I'm getting a PlayStation very soon.
Yeah, you should.
Right. Dress up or dress down?
Dress down.
Dress down?
Yeah.
Okay. I got you.
I don't have time. I don't have time for dress up.
Okay.
I'll leave that to my woman.
Well, you dressed up right now, so I'm a bit confused.
Well, Shimi, I know it's a podcast on health and fitness. I can't exactly take off my shirts now. Can I? Is that allowed?
Do whatever you gotta do.
I'm joking.
I'm gonna put an 18 sign there.
I can't put the reputation of the profession into disrepute. So
okay.
we'll keep our shirt on.
I got you. All right, Doc. Let's get into it. On a serious note,
cool.
For somebody that wants to know, how often should one go for a checkup?
Okay. So let me just introduce myself before we go forward. My name is Pumuza Kulu. I'm a practicing clinician with close to a decade of clinical practice experience. And recently I started a company, or rather a brand called Vita Healthcare Clinic, which is a medical practice founded in Sandton.
Okay.
Now, one of our founding tenets, or what we believe in as a practice, is the idea of eradicating lifestyle diseases. So our cause is to rally people towards a future that is free of lifestyle diseases. So what are lifestyle diseases? Diabetes, cancers, certain cancers, by the way, hypertension, obesity, and everything that comes along with it. All right. So we envision a future where we prevent as many diseases as we treat.
Okay.
So I'm big on prevention, and that's why I'm having a chat with you today, because I believe that exercise, or fitness rather, is a tool that we can use to prevent a lot of diseases.
Okay.
Yeah. So on the idea of checkups, right, Shimi, straight up once a year. Once a year, go to your doctor, go to your GP, and ask for a general health check.
Okay.
Right? And what they're going to do with blood work, by the way, and what they're going to do, they're going to run through a series of examinations and order some tests. So we're testing your blood to see if everything is within, if all the metrics are within range, the proper range. All right. So depending on your age, your sex, and your risk profile, will then give you results. For example, if you're a 20-year-old male, I'm not going to do a prostate check on you.
Okay.
Because evidence suggests that 20-year-olds are at a lower risk than 45-year-olds.
I got you.
Right. So at least once a year.
Okay.
All right. If you're a female, the general consensus in the medical world with females is that they should have a pap smear every 3 years. But personally, this is me. It's not any medical recommendations or so. But I'd say females should have a pap smear at least once every 2 years. And the reason being, we've become so liberal when it comes to sex. People are having sex more and more. And I don't know how to put this, but people are practicing private polygamy lately. That's what they call it. That's what I heard online. It's private polygamy. So people are a lot more liberal when it comes to sex. And HPV, we found it's a virus that is transmitted through sexual intercourse. So people are a lot more liberal when it comes to sex. So women, I would recommend, if you come to our practice, that you have a pap smear at least once every 2 years. If it's normal in those time periods, then we can go back to 3 years. But starting off, I'd say once every 2 years.
Once every 2 years.
Yeah. Men, prostate once every year after the age of 45. Or after the age of 40, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, Doc, I haven't gone for a checkup in a while.
How old are you? Don't answer that.
Listen, I'm out there. I don't care.
Yeah.
But I haven't gone for a checkup in a while. I always get signals that lead me to the doctor. I wait for the signals. Headache, sharp pain. Okay, I'm taking a trip to the doctor. But I think, I should start taking that seriously.
Yeah, when you come to us when you are sick, we focus on the sickness, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because we focus on the thing that brings you to us.
Yeah.
If you come to a doctor and you have a flu and he tells you about the prostate, hey, let's do a prostate. They're like, hey, what is this guy talking about, man? I came here for a flu.
Yeah.
What is this guy?
Yeah.
But if you come to me and you tell me that you want to do a general health checkup, so that gives me comfort that, okay, I've got a patient who is health aware.
Who cares about his health?
Who cares about his health, yeah. So then I can run you through the entire thing. In fact, in a consultation of that sort, I will run through an hour's consultation with you. Yeah.
I got you. No, I'm definitely on it.
Cool, man.
Prevention is better than cure.
Always.
Like they say, yeah.
Always.
Doc, I know how important cardiovascular exercises are.
Absolutely.
But from a medical point of view, how important is it, and how seriously should people take it? Because some people neglect it. There's a lot of rumors out there. Cardio is a waste of time. Social media, there's abundance of information, and everybody has their own opinion, saying that you don't need to do cardio. I'm not going to mention any names, but there's a very popular guy that's neglected cardio, and he advises against it. But from a medical point of view, how important is cardiovascular exercises?
The worst thing you can have, Shimi, is a guy that is ripped, looks lean, and saying all these things.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So that for me is a health crisis. It's an impending health crisis. So just on the subject of cardio, how do you feel when you're doing cardio?
Obviously, heart rate goes up, out of breath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm switching the script on you a bit.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway,
That's fine.
so when you're doing cardio, basically your muscles are working. They're working quite a bit. including your lungs, as well as the muscles that you're working. So if you're on the Stairmaster, you're using your legs quite a bit, you're using your core quite a bit. And what your heart rate does, in order to compensate for the amount of work that you are doing, it increases.
Okay.
So it can meet the demands of the body. Everything else is just the body trying to meet the needs of the level of exertion that is put on it. So heart rate goes up. You start sweating because your core temperature goes up. Your body's trying to stay cool. You breathe a bit faster. Your body's trying to take in more oxygen. All of those are adaptations that your body has to adopt in order to meet the demands that have been put on it. Now, over time, your body becomes better adapted for these kinds of situations when you're doing cardio more and more. And then this is what you call your cardiovascular fitness. Your heart can then can sustain activity for a longer period of time, which has been linked to longevity. Basically, if you do aerobic fitness, your skin looks good. Ladies, your skin looks good when you do cardio because you drink more water. Your body's able to flush out a lot more byproducts of metabolism.
Okay.
All of those things. For men, your blood pressure gets managed quite well, but more importantly, your rounds. You need to do cardio.
Very important.
Yeah. One of the causes of erectile dysfunction is vascular dysfunction. So the reason you have an erection is because blood is rushing down there. So if blood cannot get down there, you will not get an erection.
I think there's going to be a lot of guys running to the gym.
Yeah.
Doing cardio.
So how important is cardio? Ebaba, how important are your strokes? Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Men, listen, let's be on it. Go to the gym, join your nearest gym, get on some cardio so your woman can be satisfied.
Yeah, I mean, we're tired of grumpy women. Edit that out. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but on the issue of cardio is extremely important.
Okay.
Cardio is extremely important. In patients who have got heart disease, depending on the type of heart disease, we've seen significant improvements in their prognosis when they start doing a little bit of activity. All right. So it can be cardio, it can be resistance training, but the minute you engage in a little bit of activity, we've seen an improvement in death by any cause of up to 30%.
Wow.
So which means if we're sitting in a room with 3 people in it, and one person started exercising, their risk of dying would be way less than that of of the other 2 people who don't exercise. Yeah, this is just if you just started exercising. I'm not even talking about diet. Even if you continue smoking, your risk of dying when you start doing cardio or any physical activity, exercise that being, your risk of dying is way less.
Wow.
Some researchers go as far as calling physical inactivity as the new smoking.
Wow. That's interesting.
As far as health is concerned, yeah. There are articles based on that.
Okay, so cardio is very important. I know that, but I hope everybody at home listening and watching understand how important cardio is. Doc, can stress really cause physical illness?
It can. It can. And one of the mechanisms that does that is through cortisol release. So I'm going to make an example for you. Let's say we're sitting here and you see a lion outside, right? And the lion starts roaring, you know. Let's say, okay, you are not a petty man, because I know petty guys are not afraid of lions. You grow up with them. Okay, but let's say you see a lion or danger. Let's put it that way. From the minute you see a lion, your brain interprets that as danger, which means something that can cause harm to you. So what happens is you release a lot of adrenaline, fight or flight, we call it. Your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure goes up because it's trying to get your muscles ready to run away from the danger. Correct? Yeah. But what also goes up is your cortisol levels, because cortisol also raises up your blood glucose. blood glucose is needed for the muscles for you to run away. Okay. So what we found is that when cortisol goes up acutely, that's fine. That's normal. When you train, cortisol also goes up because it mobilizes your glucose storage. But when cortisol is chronically elevated in your blood, right? That's when you start to get sick because cortisol suppresses your immune response.
Okay.
It's a steroid hormone. It suppresses your immune response. And that's when you start getting these small infections and you get flu because you were stressed or whatever it is that you get. So when cortisol is chronically elevated, like when you're under stress, that's when you should watch out. Your immune system becomes compromised.
Okay.
But in addition to that as well, remember I told you that when you are stressed or when you're under stress, there's fight or flight. Your blood pressure goes up. So when you are chronically in that fight or flight mode, as you are when you are stressed, your blood pressure is always elevated. Right? And blood pressure being elevated in the acute phase or for just a few minutes, that's fine because your body is responding to something that is immediate and acute, right? But blood pressure chronically elevated over time is not good for your blood vessels.
Okay.
And it's not good for your heart either. So what we find is that stress is necessary. Anxiety is necessary. But chronic anxiety, that's bad for you. Chronic stress, it's bad for you because it places you in a state that you are not supposed to be in chronically. You are only supposed to be in that state in the moment of danger. Yeah. So that's one of the mechanisms that stress can cause physical illness.
Okay.
I hope I've answered you
More
comprehensively.
More
Yeah.
and more and more. So
Going back to men in the bedroom as well. Stress can affect you in the bedroom as well. Because I've told you, it affects your blood pressure. When your blood pressure is chronically high, it means that your blood vessels are not dilating to accommodate the flow of blood. So your blood vessels are always constricted, and that's what makes blood pressure high. But when blood vessels open up, there's increased volume, so pressure decreases.
I hear you.
Yeah. So if there's good flow of blood, there's good flow in the bedroom.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Another reason why men should do whatever they can to keep their stress levels down.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Including joining the gym. Join the gym. It
Yeah.
helps.
Even if you run at home, whatever it is, do whatever it is that you got to do, man.
Yeah. Doc, you've mentioned on your social media that applying exercise interventions to manage type 2 diabetes.
Yes.
Yeah. Can you explain more about that?
Okay. So diabetes mellitus is type 1. There's type 2. Type 1, your body is unable to produce insulin because your body itself has destroyed the cells that produce insulin. So we're not going to talk much about that. I want us to focus on type 2. Type 2 is the one that we call lifestyle disease. So when I'm talking about a lifestyle disease that is preventable or delayable, I'm talking about type 2 diabetes, right?
Okay.
Okay. So type 2 diabetes is when your body is resistant to its own insulin. So you can produce the insulin, but your body is resistant to it.
Okay.
And in essence, because your body keeps producing more insulin due to the resistance, the cells that produce the insulin then get tired, in essence. So you lose the ability to produce insulin. So it starts off as a resistance, and then your body's like, okay, let's produce more because we're not getting through with this much. So let's produce more. So your cells start working overtime. And then over time, they get fatigued.
Okay.
That's when we now say you have diabetes. And that's when you now need supplementary insulin because you now can no longer produce insulin.
Okay.
Okay. But let's step back a bit before the point of losing the ability to produce insulin. Let's say your body can still produce insulin, but it's just resistant to it. Okay. So we're there now. Insulin is produced when there's elevated blood sugar or blood glucose, right? Because it works to package the blood glucose into different compartments. You're a big muscular guy, you train, so your capacity to store glycogen is higher. So the first immediate response is to store your glucose as glycogen. And then once your glycogen reserves are full, it then stores it as fat. That's the work of insulin, right? Now, if there's no insulin, your blood sugar remains high, all right? And that leads to sickness. But let's say, for example, Shimi, you start exercising. You eat, and then you start exercising. Because you are exercising, there is no need to store the glucose that you've just taken in, right?
Okay.
Because it's being used for energy now. So it's being broken down. So which means there's no need for your body to produce insulin.
Okay.
Are you still with
I
me?
hear you. I hear you.
There's no need to package. I mean, your woman is home, just bought groceries. He said, I'm about to cook. And when you're busy packaging the things, in the, like, what are you doing? I'm with TV or something. Because there's no need for you. Right? So if she's going to start cooking now, then the stuff needs to stay on the countertop. She starts cooking. She makes the food.
Wow, I hear you.
It's being used readily, right? But if it was not being used, then you can come in, right? But what we've then found is that during exercise, the stuff is being used. Glucose is being used readily. Your woman is cooking.
So it doesn't need to be stored.
So there's no insulin needed to be produced. So you are sparing the insulin-producing cells.
Okay.
Right? And what we then found when that happens is that your body becomes resensitized to its own insulin. So you are essentially reversing that resistance that occurred in the first place.
Okay.
That is what the article is saying. It is saying we are applying the training that the athletes go through in order to manage type 2 diabetes by our input, getting energy balance, our input being equals to or less or a bit less than our output, just to get that energy balance.
Okay.
Yeah. So you are busy eating umdog, and you're eating pap, and then you watch television afterwards. Why are you eating so much energy when you're not going to use that energy?
I hear you.
There we go. So that's the whole idea behind the article of harnessing physical activity to manage type 2 diabetes.
Okay.
But if you have type 2 diabetes, I'm not saying now go out and start exercising and stop your medication. No. I'm saying have a chat with your doctor and tell him you're interested in managing your diabetes in this way. How could you do exercise in a way that is beneficial towards your condition?
Okay.
Yeah. I hope I was clear.
You were very clear.
I wasn't too in-depth.
You were very clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Doc, going back to stress causing physical illness.
Yeah.
Would you advise people, because for me, I know myself and I know how to manage stress and I know what to do when I get stressed out from doing too much or from, being anxious about something. I have things that I do. I hit the gym, I hop on the keys, I play the piano, I do that. So it helps me, take down the stress. But for somebody that doesn't know and that feels like as soon as they get stressed, the first thing to do is head to the doctor, get some medication, but their lifestyle is still the same. What would you say about that? What would you advise people to do as soon as they feel stressed out?
Oh, Shim, I'm still surprised you can play the piano. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I got the latter part of the question.
Yeah.
I'm still surprised you can play the piano.
I do. I hit some keys.
Sure.
Yeah.
You must introduce me to some people, man. Listen, my belief when it comes to medication is that as a society, we are over-medicating. That's why I wouldn't prescribe medication to you the instant I say you are diabetic. We look into things that we can change because we are so reactive as a people. We're not proactive. We're so reactive that we take medication for every single thing. And what that medication does, it acts as a crutch. And then you are now exposed to all these side effects. You are grumpy, you are rushing to the toilet every now and again because you are using medication, but you are not changing the thing that got you sick. A philosopher named Socrates said, before you heal someone, just make sure that they're willing to give up the thing that made them sick.
Wow.
Because this thing of healing is a two-way street. If I'm going to heal you, you need to be willing to be healed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when Jesus healed people, he wanted to see if they could give up the sin that put them there in the first place. He wanted them to be converted. So yeah, I'm not Jesus, but I still need you. I still need you to be converted.
Same principles.
Yeah, same principle applies. I still need you to be converted. So stress, the idea of stress, and it's a difficult one, Shimi. We're living in tough times. We're anxious about our future. We're anxious about our jobs. I mean, you and Santin, you should know these things. People are stressed all the time. There are demands from our jobs, all of those things. So we need to find healthier ways of managing stress.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't want to sound like an exercise preacher, but exercise does offer those kinds of benefits in terms of stress and improve cognitive function. In fact, we're getting into something that I didn't think we would get into now, but there's something called myokines.
Okay.
So myokines are basically compounds that communicate with your brain and whichever organ is in your body and tells them. So it's basically your muscle brain connection.
Okay.
You know, when trainers do slow reps and they're like,
Mind muscle connection.
Mind muscle connection. Yeah, that works too. But the mind muscle connection is when you're training your muscle, it releases what we call myokines, and they exert their function on the brain. And what that does, it links to improvement in mood.
Okay.
It links to what we call, I'll call it neuroplasticity with caution.
Okay.
There's a compound called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which it exerts its function on the brain, and it improves your cognitive function. It improves your mood, and this certain compound has been found that in patients who are at risk of developing Alzheimer's and dementia, they are deficient in this particular compound. So this compound can go a long way in improving your current state of your mental state as well. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. No, you went deep.
Yeah, I went deep.
I like that.
I just wasn't expecting the question.
Yeah,
You started with the piano thing.
I should talk about the piano often. If it's going to make you go that deep. Nah, that's good. That's good. Doc, for everybody listening, do you have any tips that you'd like to give somebody that would like to improve their health in general, or maybe they have their loved ones that need help, and they would take the information and go suggest to their loved ones to better their lifestyle? What would you tell them?
At worst, if the worst thing you take away today is that you go out and you exercise, you don't need to go to the gym. If you go out and you engage in a bit of physical activity, you move just a little bit more. If that's your take-home message from this podcast, then our job is done. And at best, if you start exercising, you change the stuff that you eat. A lot of people, when they bring their awareness to their eating habits, you don't even need to tell them what diet to go on. When you bring your awareness, this is a mindfulness podcast. When you bring your awareness to what you are eating, that is usually sufficient to get you to throw out that McDonald's because it has no health benefits for you whatsoever. A lot of us are stressful eaters. We're stress eaters. We eat because the food is there. I'm waiting for Shimi to set up. Let me just have a nibble.
Yeah.
My colleagues we are social eaters. My colleagues are eating, so let me just have a nibble of this and that.
Yeah.
And that becomes a habit. Eating when you're not hungry. You are teaching your body that you don't need to be hungry in order to eat. We can eat all the time. Because what we've seen is that the development of all these lifestyle diseases, they come as a result of complacency, as a result of oversight. When we lack the oversight over our habits, there's a stoic saying that says, "Watch your thoughts; they become your words. Watch your words; they become your actions.
Yeah.
What your actions, they become your habits. And what your habits, they become your destiny.
Profound.
So if you understand that saying that it all comes from the mind, you think about food, now you're ordering food, and now you are eating. If you do that enough times, it's a habit.
It's a habit.
If you do it enough times, it's diabetes because you gained weight. So it's all in the mind. So bring your awareness to what you are doing and why you are doing it.
Powerful.
I can give you statistics which won't benefit anyone on the top 5 lifestyle diseases as we know it. Obesity. Obesity, you are overweight. What happens? You'll move less. Because you are overweight as well and you lack the muscle to support your body structure, you get arthritis, osteoarthritis, the second disease. But also because you are obese and you have a lot of visceral fat, we then put you into what? A metabolic syndrome bracket. That's when you get type 2 diabetes. So these things are self-sustaining.
Yeah.
They take care of each other. Obesity makes sure you get atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis, yes, that's the other one. Obesity makes sure you get osteoarthritis. Obesity also makes sure that you get type 2 diabetes. Obesity also makes sure that your cholesterol is elevated. The cholesterol makes sure that you've got high blood pressure. High blood pressure ensures that you get a stroke. High blood pressure ensures that you get a heart attack.
Oh, they feed into each other.
They feed into each other. They're supporting each other, these ones, yeah? Yeah, they're supporting each other. And how you offset all of them is by moving more. You offset it. You offset the entire trajectory. Now, other people may need a bit of help with losing weight. I don't want to say this, but that's why people are abusing Ozempic as we speak, which is made for diabetics in order to improve their prognosis.
Yeah.
But we are using, like I said, we are over medicating. We're using medication for something that can be sorted out by our habits. So if anything, I think we need to develop a better relationship with ourselves. And that's the take-home message today. Love yourself enough. Take care of yourself enough. Go to the gym. Train, man.
And be mindful.
Be mindful. Be mindful. Ask yourself why you got to eat that. Ask yourself, why am I sitting on the couch for so long? Start movement. Yeah. But I'll provide you with some insights as well. You can put it in the link, what people can read, articles which we have found helpful in such things. These are articles that also help us in practice when we're dealing with people who are overweight, when we're dealing with people who are diabetics, and when we're developing programs as well for change. Yeah.
Doc, obviously, we can't cover all of this in one episode.
We can't cover it in all
lot.
one episode, yeah. But I would definitely like to go a little bit deeper. I feel that it's going to provide a bit more value to your listeners, especially when it comes to things that benefit us as a society. The real problems that we face. It's pointless for me to say exercise so you can live long when you are miserable in your current life.
Yeah.
It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
But if I say exercise so you can have better strokes, now you're going to listen.
People will listen.
If I say as a woman, you need to start doing weight exercises because it's going to help you when you're going through menopause, that's a different problem. Now I'm presenting you with something that you can see, you can touch, you can feel. In fact, women who exercise experience less severity of menopause symptoms. When you engage in aerobic activity, they experience a little bit less of the hot flushes and the night sweats. But that's a conversation for another day.
Okay. Next episode, women in menopause.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Doc, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks,
I really
Jimmy.
appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell so you can know every time we upload. And as I said before, this is meant to add value into your life. It's meant to let you walk away with something that you can apply immediately into your life so that you have a better lifestyle, you have a better health, and you live a wholesome life. That's the main purpose of this podcast.
Yeah.
Again, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.